We're here at VMworld in San Francisco, 2019. We're visiting with Island. Can you tell us a little bit about the company and what you're showing here at VMworld?
Sure, absolutely. So Island is a global enterprise cloud service provider. We've been working with VMware now for, over a decade. And we've been squarely focused on how do we deliver an enterprise class cloud infrastructure so we can host business critical production applications. I think what the market best knows Island for is we're recognized as a leader in delivering disaster recovery as a service, as well as backup as a service. And we've been delivering these services from 9 data centers around the world. And when you look at what we're doing, we've really worked closely with VMware for such a long time that we're taking both VMware technology as well as other best of breed technologies, things like Veeam for backup, Zerto for disaster recovery, Trend, Micro for security, Tenable Nessus. So we've tied it all into a single core platform that allows our customers to leverage our API, to leverage infrastructure as code, if that's how they prefer to consume it, or they simply leverage our UI, right? Whatever the use case, whether it's backup, hosting production applications, or actually replicating for disaster recovery purposes.
And how would you say you fit into VMware's ecosystem and community?
Yeah, so we've been partnered with VMware now since, it's been over a decade, like I said. So if you think about the word cloud, the page was blank over 10 years ago, right? We were really focusing on how do we host business critical production workloads. So we're the longest standing member of VMware's partner advisory board, and we've integrated their technology directly into our core platform, right? So we're recognized as a strategic partner from a cloud delivery perspective. And actually at this show, we announced support for Cloud Verified, which I think is the latest tag that you can put on a VMware verified cloud infrastructure. And that's been evolving over the last decade, right? But we work very, very closely with them.
So one of the things we've been asking people here at VMworld is, where do you see the future of this industry going over the next 6 to 12 months? If you had a crystal ball, what would you say is the big thing that is going to be a necessity?
Yeah, believe me, if I had a crystal ball, we wouldn't be here, Brian. But I'll tell you what's really interesting right now is to see everybody that's trying to figure out how do I migrate and get out of the data center business. At the same time, I've got so much pressure to innovate, right? How am I going to modernize applications, develop new applications that remain relevant in the market, right? So to me, when you look at various different platforms, it's all moving so fast. So our big focus has been able to make sure that we can enable customers to consume both frameworks as well as application stacks to help them on that modernization path, but also create a very seamless path for them to migrate workloads to get out of the data center business, right? And we know that that's a process. You're not going to have somebody just forklift their entire data center. It happens very, very rarely, right? So we're very focused on how can we help at each component of that journey and make sure that we're there as a partner to the end customer.
Well, is there something here we could take a look at, maybe a demo?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple things. One, we're going to show you Catalyst. This is something we developed a couple years ago. It's a free cloud assessment application. And what we did there is we wanted to help our partners as well as customers really help them answer that question, is cloud right for my use case, right? So this is an application we developed that they can install locally, connect it to vCenter. They can actually start to pull both resource pools and VMs to basically build various different models, whether they're trying to back up, replicate, or actually migrate, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to analyze what we're seeing in vCenter, we're going to analyze the network. It also gives a very quick way of providing the customer with pricing, right? So we can ultimately help them understand if the cloud's right for the use case, and if so, lead that down the deployment path.
Great, so can we go take a look at that?
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
So what are you going to show us?
So this week we're announcing the new version of Island Catalyst, version 2.0, which is a tool our customers use when they're either working on migrating to the cloud or doing disaster recovery with us, so we can collect information about their source site and all the virtual machines and other workloads they're going to bring to the Island cloud. Catalyst itself is a simple download. It's not a resident tool. Customers run it once. It attaches to their vCenter server, collects information about the virtual machines themselves and their performance. So here we can see I've already selected some VMs that will be bringing over to the Island cloud. I've selected those, and based on my specific use case with Island, whether I'm either going to do cloud backup or if I'm going to be a production or disaster recovery customer, Catalyst has gone in and collected information to help me calculate just how much storage in the cloud am I going to need to do backups with this, or how much resources will I require when I'm ready to either migrate to the cloud or do disaster recovery with Island. Most importantly, and this is a critical thing for all cloud customers, is figuring out what your actual bandwidth is for replicating or connecting to the cloud. So we built in a speed test to any of our data centers. So the speed tests themselves show latency to each of our 9 data centers, global data centers, and it kind of, since we're here in the US, it kind of makes sense that the US data centers are in the green, our 3 European data centers are in the yellow, and then our Asia Pacific data centers are in the red. Their latency is too high, you wouldn't want to do DR or necessarily migrate there. But I've already ran a example speed tests. They take about a minute to run to each data center, and it lets me know what my actual bandwidth and latency is to each of those data centers. That becomes really useful for customers who are looking to actually figure out how long is it going to take me to seed my backups or my disaster recovery to the cloud, and what's my differential time going to be. So here we can see if I was deciding to replicate to Iland's Dallas data center, I'd only be looking at about 0.22 hours, which is an odd measurement. Most people don't measure time that way, but it's under an hour for me to actually do my initial seed over the wire, and then every time I do a differential, it's again under an hour to handle that. So this tool, like I said, the big advantage for our customers is it takes a lot of mystery about what is it going to take to migrate to the cloud or do disaster recovery. Do I have the right bandwidth? And it also allows customers to work within their tiering system to figure out which exact workloads am I bringing. So you don't have to select all of them, you can just select 1 or 2. And from there, figure out what is this going to look like when I'm ready to move.
Great. Well, thanks for taking the time to speak with VMblog and give us a little glimpse of your product.
Absolutely, and thanks for stopping by to take a look at it.
And where can they go if they want to find out more information about the products you just talked about?
Absolutely, they should start at iland.com to look for backup as a service, disaster recovery as a service, and infrastructure as a service solutions. And if they're looking to try any of these things, iland.com/free is the place to go to check out what's available for free trials and whatnot, and they can get a good glimpse into what they can test and see how it works firsthand.